Before that, the Morning Watch is sponsored by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Sector.
The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, in collaboration with the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, is pleased to announce that all nominations are now open for the 2024 Public Bodies Corporate Governance Awards, which will be held on December 4, 2024. Let excellence reign and be recognized for your high standards of corporate governance practices across a variety of categories. Submit your nomination by 4 p.m. on Friday, September 6th. Submission is free. Visit mof.gov.jm for more information.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, Vibes Cartel freed. Emancipendence coincidence? And in the second watch, to boycott or not? What should be the Christian response to initiatives and images deemed anti-Christian? For our social media question, therefore, we ask, did you heed the call for a blackout of the 2024 Olympics? We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
All right, I quote, today is a Jamaican proverb, and it says, rain never fall a one-man door. And the translation is, rain never falls at one man's door only.
What's the interpretation, though?
Everybody experience rain, everybody experience storms. So you want to go through that?
Talking about storms, how has been the Olympics for you from a Jamaican perspective?
Interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, so that at least for true.
Interesting.
You don't want to say more on that, eh?
I'll leave it right there.
All right. First watch will be back after this break.
It's your turn to roll out and come and hang with us, your Love 101 FM family. Saturday, August 10. Are you ready for this? Stick and stay and keep it tuned to where we'll be, and do make room to come and spend the entire day with us. It's a whole heap of fun and a whole lot of love.
RW Love is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance and Public Sector, AIM Financial Corporation, Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, National Housing Trust, Distinction College, Institute of International Recognized Qualification, IIRQ, Recycling Partners of Jamaica.
Hey, son! Saturday, August 10. Are you ready for this?
Will Jesus find us watching?
Love 101 invites you to hear the Olympic updates from Kathy's point of view. What is her take on what's going down in Paris? Insights you may have missed and the what-ifs you probably never thought about. It's her take after the races, after the games. Listen for the Olympic Report with Kathia, your sports talk host, Monday to Friday at 10:25 a.m. on the family station. 5 minutes of Kathia's takes and turns on the Olympics, Monday to Friday at 10:25 a.m. And then don't miss Sports Talk on Saturdays, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Another World of Worship Wednesday is coming your way inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. August 7, packed with worship, fun, and information. Stick around for the brain testing exercise at 1:45. Prayer Blast will come your way at 2 o'clock. More prayer, more power. 2:15, we feature Kimberly Burrell as our worship artist of the day. At 3 p.m., we bring you the hot topics. Join us to find out what's trending in your world of entertainment, sports, lifestyle, you name it. All this and more will come your way inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. This World of Worship Wednesday, August 7, with yours truly, Sarah and the Chirpy One on the family station, Love 101.
Will Jesus find us?
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, as is well known, popular DJ artist Vibes Cartel et al. Has been released from prison due to a recent appeals court ruling against a retrial of the now infamous case. And since that day, July 31st, there are those who are asking, was the freeing of Cartel in time for Emancipendence celebrations? Was it a coincidence or not? Well, to answer this and other related questions, we have joining us Apostle O'Neill Richards, Senior Pastor of the Shalom Christian Outreach Center, and I'm not sure if we have online as well. Yes, we do. Mr. Byron Buckley, who's the second vice president of the Association of Christian Communicators and Media. He's also a media and communications specialist. Good morning to you both.
Morning to you both as well, and our listeners.
Yes. That's Pastor. Mr. Buckley, are you with us?
I'm on, but my connection is not that clear, so I'm trying to settle at a good spot for you.
All right.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you. All right.
Okay.
What are your opening thoughts on the Cartel et al. Case in general? Beginning with you, Pastor Richards.
Wow. Well, the case itself is quite a significant one because it really evaluates and assesses our justice system, and it also shows the cracks that we have, some of it, and it calls us to really consider what are some of the things we need to do to ensure that our justice system works. That's just one of the points that it brings to mind.
You say it evaluates. I'm hearing an echo. I don't know why. Yeah, you said that it evaluates and it assesses our justice system. What's your evaluation? Apostle Richards?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I'm hearing an echo.
Not so sure why.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm saying it does evaluate our justice system. When we look, for example, in the early part of the trial, we see where there was a breakdown in the jury system. We know that how it was handled is really what overturned the case, because that trial went on even despite the breakdown of the jury system. And what eventually happened is that the Privy Council identified the same crack in the system, and was basically making the point that the response of the court to that event was not the right response, and as a result, it made the whole trial unacceptable. It made it a mistrial. So, right, that is my yeah. Those are my first thoughts.
All right, Mr. Buckley, your
Yeah.
opening thoughts on the case in general.
Well, I'm in agreement with the Rev. I think that the Privy Council made a correct ruling in terms of the quality of justice, and clearly the trial judge erred in allowing the case to continue, having identified an attempt by a juror to contaminate the system. So I'm in agreement with that general decision by the Privy Council and sending it back to our Court of Appeal.
And the ruling to not have a retrial. What's your take on that so far?
I think listening to the argumentation from the learned judge, I think that that's the best thing to do. That's the best outcome for justice. Based on the arguments, it would not be, the prosecution doesn't appear to be able to put on back, I would say, using the word perfect in quotation, a perfect trial. There are just so many short, deficits. So I'm agreement with not ordering a mistrial, not ordering a retrial.
Yeah. Apostle Richard, you first. Do you believe that the timing of their release was coincidental or simply incidental?
Well, it's definitely a coincidence. It does, as you say, raise questions about that, but I really believe that the focus really is on greater matters, calling us to look on our system and to make sure that what we offer as justice is reliable. Despite the fact that we know the justice system in Jamaica, there's a lot of work has gone into our courts and to make sure that justice is provided in our society. But the coincidence, it has happened, but what we need to really assess now is what lessons do we learn from it. What can we do to make things better? What are we to do so that we serve our nation and our people in a greater way?
We're going to talk about that. Mr. Buckley, was it coincidental to the emancipation or emancipendence celebrations?
Yes, I think it was. In fact, it seemed to have been dependent on the timetable of the courts. It was just time for them to give judgment in a couple of cases before they went off on their break. So I think it was coincidental. I don't think it has anything to do with trying to make it an important or compromise our national celebration. I don't think so.
Yeah, because apparently there's that thought out there, that this could not be mere coincidence, Men are freed at a time when we talk about freedom and independence.
I can understand the sensitivity of the case and that, and it means what people are thinking, but I wouldn't put that at the feet of the court system, certainly, and the government. Yes. As a matter of fact, I felt that the court was on the self-imposed pressure to get this ruling out quickly, because part of the criticism of our justice is that it is just too slow. So I think they wanted to make a decision on this and get it out of the way.
Yes. And you talk about justice again, Mr. Buckley. Was justice served for all the stakeholders, whether they be the accused individuals or the family members of Clive Williams?
That's a hard one to answer, because there is justice from a limited straight, legal perspective, and there's justice about, do you feel that that everybody was aggrieved, were addressed. Clearly, maybe we should answer half and half, because the accused did spend some time in jail, right? Albeit not the full sentence. And so maybe you could look at it that way, that in a way, all the parties concerned, but from a straight point of view, from the victim's side, you can understand them questioning whether or not justice was done. I believe that the justice system must be fair, and it
Okay.
can't have,
I'm
yes.
sorry, Mr. Buckley, as you know very well, we're up on a time signal. Could you hold that point, please? We'll be right back.
Deworm you and your family twice a year with Pharma Wormwall, available at pharmacies island-wide. The time by Pharma Wormwall is 7:15 a.m.
To my amazing son on his wedding day, my heart is full of joy for you. I wish you a lifetime of happiness and a house full of love. Oh, and some kids would be nice. Your mommy will be the kindest, loveliest granny there ever was. Love always, Daddy. I promised him I'd read this to you one day, and here we are.
Thanks, Mommy. Your love lives on with life insurance from Sagicor. Talk to an advisor today.
Are you between the ages of 15 to 19? Do you want to excel in your academic studies while making a difference by sharing Jesus Christ? Enroll now at Youth Reaching Youth. We will help you grow in faith and knowledge. Our offerings include evangelism, leadership development, and a variety of academic studies through our sixth form pathway program, CCK, and City and Guilds, Great Diploma and Associate Degree, Allied Healthcare Assistance, NVQ Level 2, and Phlebotomy CCC. Join us and become a nation changer today. Call 876-926-7163. That's 876-926-7163 to register. Youth Reaching Youth, changing our nation through Christ.
Keep your family in peak condition. Pharma Wormwall suspension. Just one dose. It's an easy decision. Pharma Wormwall suspension.
Protect your family from intestinal worms with Pharma Wormwall. Get the entire household to peak condition just in time for back to school. With just a single dose, Pharma Wormwall effectively eliminates worm infestations in all stages, making it the hassle-free solution for both kids and adults.
Just one dose is an easy decision. Pharma Wormwall suspension.
Choose Pharma Wormwall for your entire family. Distributed by Massive Distribution. Ready, set, go! Race down to Singer to get golden deals on appliances, electronics, and furniture. Be a part of the action with LG 4K Ultra High Definition Television. Get a free.
Society supply society and the price is right, yes it's worth it. The solution is your heart of parts things to one stop shop. And we deliver to so each you can come in just in the power stop. Or call and make your order and remember there's no other so it hurts if you don't check first. So there's no need to say because if you don't check first.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And this is the first watch. We have been discussing the Cartel case in being freed. And we're asking, is it emancipendence coincidence? And in so doing, we have online Mr. Byron Buckley, the second vice president of the Association of Christian Communicators and Media, as well as Apostle O'Neill Richards, senior pastor of Shalom Christian Outreach Center. I believe before the break, Mr. Buckley, you were responding to the matter, the question, was justice served for all the stakeholders, whether they be the the accused individuals or the family members of Clive Williams? Continue, sir.
Looking at it objectively, if it is that that freeing of the cartel and his co-accused is part of fixing our justice system or fixing something that went wrong, then we all have to agree that that is a good thing. We may not like what gets done because we may feel that the victim's family has been shortchanged. But if the act really is about making the justice system work better, then objectively we have to say justice has been served for everyone.
So the family, you're saying, has also received justice. How?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that all of us need to appreciate we have a good justice system. And the freeing of Cartel and the accused, based on the arguments presented by the ruling presented by the appeal court, it's part of fixing a justice system that has some cracks in it. And
the family. That's why I'm going. Was justice served for the family, Mr. Buck?
I am including the Jamaican society that wants a good justice system. So while I'm agreeing that emotionally they perhaps would want the accused to complete their sentence, I'm saying fixing the justice system works in everybody's interest.
Okay. Apostle Richards, what's your take on that?
If we consider the decision as part of fixing the justice system, then I can.
Yes. Apostle Richards, your take on that?
Well, I would go. I agree with my with Mr. Buckley. What I'd like to add though is that the arguments of the appeal court locally has really presented what they thought is justice, and presented strong arguments on both sides as to why they made the decisions they made. And for me, the arguments that were presented were all obviously very strong, very commendable, and they require our consideration. So I wouldn't be standing in judgment of the appeal court. But the law, it was to accept it because the law is the law, and the things that were presented were really serious issues that must be considered. It is true that the family of Clive Lizard Williams would be aggrieved because one would hope, one would wonder or expect, both from an emotional and also based on their own views as to what justice would be. They would want more to be done to the accused, but it is the court's decision to make the rules. It's the court's decision to pursue justice. It's the court's responsibility, not just the court but the justice system, to actually pursue the delivery of justice to our society. From the police right up to the lawyers, to the jury, to the judge, and so all of that combination is what delivered to us a verdict. We saw a breakdown, and if they had gone ahead, I don't believe that justice would have been served. So I'm glad that the Privy Council made their ruling, and ultimately they responded to the nature of the system as well. Because if justice is not delivered, then justice is not served. If a decision or a verdict is made which is compromised, then justice is not served. What we want to do is to have a delivery of a verdict that actually is reliable, is valid, is something that is credible, and something that is without suspicion or doubt. And if there is doubt or it's not seen as reliable and credible, then of course we know this justice would not be delivered properly. And so, what decisions have been made, I believe it's just as best as possible. It's not full. It's not a full delivery of justice because we say, as we say, the what what was merited to the fact that somebody died in the process.
Mhm.
How do you fix that? How do you deliver justice there? You can't bring him back, but at least we need to make sure that when you look at the future, we have a system that is working because it's justice not just for this case, but justice for future users of the court system as well.
Yes, I'm going to talk about that. But just to be clear, Apostle Richards, are you saying that justice was delivered on both sides of the spectrum?
I am saying that the appeal court sought to correct the justice delivered so that ultimately what was delivered was actually the best that they could do within the context. People would argue on both sides, and there are arguments on both sides that are valid.
Mm,
You know,
yeah. Mr. Buckley, in light of all that transpired in this case, what are your concerns and or suggestions re Jamaica's justice system going forward?
Yeah, and to pick up us where Apostle left off. At the end of the day, the winner should be the winners should be the Jamaican people, the Jamaican society. If we improve in this particular instance, there's a lacuna in the law that allows that would permit one juror to contaminate the jury pool and the process.
Right.
And that lacuna needs to be fixed like yesterday. And I have not heard our legislators, I've not heard Minister Chuck moving fast in the legislature to get that fixed. In the UK, in the jurisdiction, what they do is that if that happens, then the trial judge is authorized to continue the case.
Right. It becomes
You
a
dismiss the jury.
trial.
Yes, you dismiss the jury. So that needs to be addressed like yesterday so that all of us in society can benefit from a fair and just justice system. The other thing too is just a matter of speeding up the process. We keep getting knocked with that from the Privy Council that we just take too long. And so I want to comment quickly the Chief Justice and the work he's doing and others to reform the system, but we need to do a lot more. Justice delayed is justice denied.
Yes. Apostle Richards, your take on that? What are your concerns and suggestions going forward re this justice system in Jamaica?
well, first of all, I would start at the jury system. What we are understanding as far as the jury system goes is that the jurors are finding themselves right in the middle of the accused in various court system based on reports I hear. One of the things is that the jurors are not feeling safe because they go to court and they have to go home and jump on a taxi on their way back home. And there's need for provisions for the safety of our jurors, number one, as well as that they need to have some kind of an environment where they will not feel threatened or influenced by others who are in the trial. So needs to be provisions for the jurors, also in terms of the remuneration. Although we know it's a service that they're doing to the country, that's what needs to happen. I am also concerned about. Sorry, go ahead.
The remuneration has been increased, I gather. So
Yes.
that's been
All right. Well, we still have the issues of safety, and we still have issues of for them to be in an environment where there's less. They cannot be influenced by others, by threats. I mean, if you're outside if you are the juror or a jury, and you're seeing the accused walking right beside you in the immediate environment runs of you, even to able to intimidate by appearance, etc. We need to fix that. Definitely needs to fix that. I am also another question concern of mine is when the breakdown was identified in the system.
Mhm.
Why is it that it was not corrected here? Yeah, why was it not addressed here? Why is it that the child was just proceeded without the correction of that problem?
That's something
I'm not
a
the
question.
expert. I'm not the expert on that, but that's a question that I have.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We are totally out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. Interesting and insightful discussion. Have a safe day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Great. Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Anything possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by Jan Bank is
7:30.
Don't get it twisted. Sealed Jamaican sugar are the real deal. No matter with the Thai bag sugar. After you don't know how it package, things can transfer from one bag to the next if them not follow proper food handling standards. Play it safe. Don't get it twisted. Choose the bag that's sealed and labeled from sugar brands you can trust. Plus, you support Jamaican sugar and keep our island strong.
This message was brought to you by the Jamaica Gold Sugar, Pan Caribbean Sugar Company, and Worthy Park Cane Sugar.
Happy follow Grace Sardine, better flavor. Grace Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. You all of them nice. Pass the back, make push it.
Grace Sardines. Follow the better flavor.
Enjoy yummy for the summertime. Win big for the back to school. It's the yummy summer back to school promotion. Purchase one each of these yummy products: yummy cheese bread, cornbread, jamboree, and 5-ounce buns. Write your name, address, and contact number on the back of your receipt and mail with the empty packages. Send in with your yummy salesman or drop off at your nearest yummy agency or entry box in participating supermarkets. Enter today and win your share of over 1.4 million in cash and prizes. Win big for the back to school. Follow us at Yummy Bakery JA for more details. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
I love doing my own thing. So to have to live by my landlady rules, kind of rough. I can only park near the front gate to the right of the mango tree, but not on the lawn. Well, I fulfill 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings plan. I buy my dream home and I live by my own rules.
Save so you can build the house, buy the land, what quotes and dreams and a plan.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jan Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jan Bank will help you find a way.
The report is out.
What report?
The Constitutional Reform Committee's report of recommendations.
Recommendations on what?
On how we move from a monarchy to a republic, of course.
So what's in it?
The creation of the office of president and changes to our parliament. Yes, man. It also includes a new qualification for membership in parliament. I know you want to see that one.
Read the full report at roadtorepublic.mlca.gov.jm.
We are on the road to republic.
It's time to fill your cup with a blend of hope and inspiration. Join me in the Dean Blair weekdays, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express, your mid-morning sanctuary on Love 101. We'll take you through carefully chosen music to soothe your soul, with thoughtful words to uplift your spirit, programs and features for growth and upliftment. Tune in and be encouraged. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express with Nadine Blair, right here on your family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Gleaner, Jamaicans and other Caribbean nationals swindled in immigration scam. Also in the Gleaner, time for a new motto. Okay. And then in the Observer, a gift from God. Wayne Pinnock grateful for Olympic silver medal. Yeah. And then WHO warns of surge in COVID-19 infections. So those are some of the major stories in our newspapers. And coming up next, we read some of the feedback from our social media question. Did you heed the call for a blackout of the 2024 Olympics? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Another World of Worship Wednesday is coming your way inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. August 7, packed with worship, fun, and information. Stick around for the brain testing exercise at 1:45. Prayer Blast will come your way at 2 o'clock. More prayer, more power. 2:15, we feature Kimberly Burrell as our worship artist of the day. At 3 p.m., we bring you the hot topics. Join us to find out what's trending in your world of entertainment, sports, lifestyle, you name it. All this and more will come your way inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. This World of Worship Wednesday, August 7, with yours truly, Sarah and the Chirpy One on the family station, Love 101.
Love 101 invites you to hear the Olympic updates from Kathy's point of view. What is her take on what's going down in Paris? Insights you may have missed, and the what-ifs you probably never thought about. It's her take after the races, after the games. Listen for the Olympic Report with Kathia, your sports talk host, Monday to Friday at 10:25 a.m. on the family station. 5 minutes of Kathia's takes and turns on the Olympics, Monday to Friday at 10:25 a.m. And then don't miss sports talk on Saturdays, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101. Hey Kingston! It's your turn to roll out and come and hang with us, your Love 101 FM family. Saturday, August 10. Are you ready for this? Stick and stay and keep it tuned to hear where we'll be, and do make room to come and spend the entire day with us. It's a whole heap of fun and a whole lot of love.
RW Love is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance and Public Sector, AIM Financial Corporation, Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, National Housing Trust, Distinction College, Institute of International Recognized Qualification, IIRQ, Recycling Partners of Jamaica.
Hey Kingston! Saturday, August 10. Are you ready for this?
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jokal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. Did you heed the call for a blackout of the 2024 Olympics? Jokal?
All right, so we have responses. Well, a response from Cherry in Spanish. So she says the Olympics has been very interesting, praying that our athletes will be injury-free as they give of their best in representing Jamaica very well over the years. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much, Cherry. All right. As we now segue into the second watch, in response to some scenes and activities that were deemed anti-Christian in the opening ceremony of Olympics 2024, calls have been made for persons, especially Christians, to boycott the event altogether. And of course, this begs the question, should Christians participate in such or similar boycotts? Well, to discuss this and other related matters, we have online Mr. Michael Muir, a stakeholder in the telecommunications industry, and Ms. Nicole Carrara, Jamaican missionary in Argentina. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning. Morning.
Great. Good to have you both with us. Thanks for joining us. What are your opening comments on the call for Christians to boycott the rest of the Olympics in response to what were deemed anti-Christian sentiments in the opening ceremony? Beginning with you, Ms. Carrara.
Well, I absolutely understand it and I wrestled with it. I love my sports and I really wrestled with it because I wanted to make sure that I am not doing anything out of my selfish desire just to watch the sport. And so I prayed a couple of days about it. And then I felt that God was telling me I need to watch and I need to support the Christian, especially the Christian athletes. We can't always be running from darkness. We have to stand our ground. And just even hearing our athletes say that silver was a gift from God, that is a podium he has to give glory to God, to speak about God in this dark place, because indeed, definitely, it is dark. But we need to be able to stand our ground, stand on the truth, because I've listened to Christian athletes and they have been saying, we have been speaking to other athletes because there's so much more going on behind this. There are athletes who are not Christians who get into depression even after this because there's nothing left to do, no coach, no team, nothing. And so they've been able to speak to them. There have been missionaries like me going around Paris speaking to these athletes, people who have been former athletes. And I believe that this is an outlet for Christians to actually shine in the darkness. So not to run from it, but to actually shine light in darkness.
Interesting. Okay, Mr. Muir, your take on that?
Well, in the first place, I don't believe in God operating in the black and white, where he demands of all of his followers to follow a set path. So I had a personal choice. I didn't know of a call to boycott, but I had a personal choice. I was convicted not to support an event that was flagrantly mocking my Lord and Savior, and secondly, that seeks to not just promote anti-God standards, but to suppress pro-God standards. And as an example, I'd use the story from this Olympics, where a Brazilian Olympic surfer was forced to remove an image of Jesus from his surfboard. Not that I believe in images for our faith as a way of showing our allegiance to the Lord, but the fact that they would promote their images and flaunt it in your face, and you didn't have an option. If you wanted to watch the Olympics, you had to see what they were pushing. But they were also denying other people of what they call the same tolerance they're demanding, that you can't represent what you believe. So further examples would be Sydney McLaughlin winning her gold medal and breaking the world record again, and having her testimony by a reporter being edited so that what was broadcast edited out her attributing her talent and her success to the Lord. What you saw broadcast was different from what the full video was. And a Brazilian skateboarder who was winning her second medal, first at age 13 and now at age 16, she was sharing a verse from scripture in sign language because she's hearing impaired. And the committee approached her Brazilian Olympic Committee to basically reprimand her, since they're not allowed to represent their faith in public under the auspices of the IOC. So they can push theirs, but we can't share ours.
So just to be clear, Mr. Muir, were you in favor of the call for the boycott from Christians across the world?
I announced to my local church groups and my WhatsApp groups that I was choosing not to participate. I didn't ask anybody else to join me. If other people were convicted, I would have been both happy, and I also share Ms. Carrara's thought that God does use people in situations of darkness where they are allowed to the opportunity to shine.
Yes.
I know there are.
So you still have some ambivalence about it, or are you clear on your
I'm
thought?
clear on my stance in that I don't want to give my financial support and I'll simply take it, with the amount of people who watch events, whether it be Grammys, Oscars, whether it be Netflix, whether it be the Olympics, the amount of people who watch it brings advertising dollars to these institutions, and those people who use their financial might.
A good note, Mr. We're on a break. We're on a break. We'll be right back, okay?
Sure, thanks.
Sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the pan with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody say
sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is 7:45.
I am Megan Tapple, Olympic 100-meter hurdles bronze medalist. At 5'1", I've always been asked, how you manage to clear the hurdles so easily? Truth is, I've been overcoming hurdles all my life. How? Preparation. So I always prepare for every hurdle in life. And that's why I drink True Shake. With True Shake, I get 9 grams of protein and 24 essential vitamins. I may be short, but with True Shake, I am not short of anything.
Grab a True Shake and go! Together we're all people standing strong. Women and Jamaicans, let's work as one. Such a course at work with a plan. Road on tall, let's make the whole world understand. Every Jamaican of the heart of a champion. Such a core big up for champions. Watch my style, watch my skill, watch my bro. Standing out anywhere where we go. Many goals, many dreams, many strides. All the black, green and gold, are we bright? Road on tall, let's make the whole world understand. We are strong when we are one, Sagicor, celebrating Jamaican success.
Me? Busy as usual, so I don't have no time for whole heap of paperwork. That's why I downloaded and signed up for my 1JN Passport app. It's a whole new level of convenience and access to services within the JN Financial Group. Just a few taps on my smartphone and maps. I can update my personal information, open a JN Bank savings account, and even apply for an unsecured loan. Get it all in one go. Download and sign up now. The 1JN Passport app. JN will help you find a way.
Hey my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. Least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn to relate so you're out of time. A progressive future, one little real long life our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Go HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes say your status clear. Real long life our story. Real long life for say you coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in the second watch, we are asking the question to boycott or not. What should be the Christian response to initiatives and images deemed anti-Christian? And in so doing, we have online Ms. Nicola Carrara, Jamaican missionary in Argentina, and Mr. Michael Muir, a member of the telecommunications industry, and both are Olympic fans. I think before the break, Mr. Muir, you were telling us your views and your take on the matter of the boycott as proposed.
Yeah, I was mentioning the financial reward for those who are anti-God when we as Christians still support them when they attack overtly our faith and our Lord. And we would have only to compare it to the effect of the Bud Light scandal when they chose to promote a so-called transgender who wasn't even properly representing that transgender community. So it was making a mockery of the image of femaleness. It wasn't Christians who chose to boycott it, but people who were experiencing fatigue from having this thrust upon them over and over again, and being tarnished and branded and labeled as bigots and haters and whatever probes they want to ascribe to them, caused Bud Light to fall from number 1 to number 10 in the list of the top beers selling in the country and probably around the world.
Well, of course, Bud Light as well as question marks about the product. All right. Miss Carrara, what's your response to those who argue that oftentimes Christians are too passive and therefore need to utilize such boycotts to send a strong and clear message that enough is enough?
I actually agree that Christians are too passive. But I also look at the other side, and I think that Christians are sometimes too emotional. First of all, we need to stop and pray when things happen. And I like what Mr. Muir says, because it was his conviction, and I believe God uses both sides. And it's so important. It is so important. So I have agreed with everything that he has said. But I also believe that we need to pray. I've looked at a lot of the Christian responses, and I don't think we have even delved into the Bible enough. We have sat and took time in God's presence and asked him, what is he thinking about this? Because I had to step back. I actually had to step back and say, okay, God, what's going on here? And I recognize that we need to pray that the Christian athletes are not passive, because what Mr. Muir said is so true. The French athletes cannot even speak about any religion at all. They're not allowed to. And I believe that we need to be bold, because this is actually what's going to keep on happening, and it's going to get worse. So we need to be bold about what we stand for. We need to be firm. We need to stand for truth. And if God says boycott, I applaud. There's a company in Mississippi who came out and said, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. It's a cell company, I believe, and I applaud that. And so I believe we need to stand firm on the truth. Mr. Muir is saying, no, they're not going to do this to my God. So I am not watching. And I'm saying, wait, the Christian athletes are there. This is a podium for them to be bold. So I'm praying for them to be bold. I'm praying for them to speak the name of Jesus. Even if they're going to cut out, just as he had said, Mr. Muir had said, they cut out Sidney McLaughlin's praising God.
Yes.
But the fact is that we're talking about it. And so we are, even controversy can give light to what God is going. I'm sorry?
What is God saying though, Ms. Carrara? Because on the other hand, we are hearing that persons are saying they're sensing that God is saying that this thing should be boycotted in its entirety. So does God have a split personality? I mean, what's going on here? What's going on here?
No, God does not have a split personality. God is about the truth. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. However, we need to have a personal relationship with God. And what he tells one person, it doesn't mean he's going to tell the other, because we each have a different purpose in his plan. So one person may be saying, okay, this is to be boycotted, and we're seeing companies come out. And for me, I am like, what? I am so glad I didn't see it. I didn't even know it's live. I'm on the other side of the world. Didn't even realize it was live, and it was after. And I'm like, thank you, God.
Maybe that's why your response, if there's some argument, if you saw it, it would have been.
No, I saw it. I saw it after the fact. And that's why I saw it after the fact. I didn't see it live. So I was like, what's this? I saw a person with a cut head, and I'm like, what's this Halloween thing? So I just kept on moving. So I was able to move through, and I was like, no, this is demonic. This isn't right. And I started praying. I started praying right away. And I started praying for protection of our athletes. And and that's why I wrestled with it. I wrestled with it for a couple of days. I put out a post on Instagram, on Facebook, to hear what other people are saying. And I kept on praying until I felt God was saying,
Interesting.
we need to be light. We need
Yeah.
to be light in the darkness, and we need to be praying for people to be bold. We can't hide our light under a bushel, and it's going to keep on getting dark. So this is good exercise. This is because we're in a war. This is war.
Right.
And we need to be able to be armored up and say, this is my God, and this is what I believe, just as Mr. Muir said. And I totally agree with what he said.
And what God may be saying to one person, he may not be saying that to another.
Another person.
Okay, good. Interesting. Mr. Muir, how far should we take this whole matter of boycotting events and boycotting movies and products? I mean, for example, if you go to a bookstore to buy a Christian book, and you see that on another book on another shelf, you see something that is anti-Christian, should you walk out of that bookstore at the same time?
No, I wouldn't do that. I do recognize that we're not in a theocracy. We're not in a monolithic world, and I agree with what Ms. Carrara said. I know God works His purpose and not our purpose. He doesn't ask. He's not telling us whose side he's on. He's telling us who is on His side. So for one person, he might say,
So sorry, what you said a while ago sounds real good. We just need to drill down into it. He's not telling us whose side he's on.
No. I mean, when Gideon saw an angel approaching him, and said, "Are you for us or are you for them?" And he said, "No, I'm on my side. Are you on my side?" Basically. So
God is on the side of justice and righteousness. Yes. So he tells us which side he's on.
Right, but he works his purpose though. So, for example, for Charles Liddell, he might say, "Don't run on Sunday because you believe that is disrespecting your faith." And Charles Liddell had an impact that his name is still remembered around the world, and he was celebrated in a famous movie called Chariots of Fire. Now, for Sidney McLaughlin, he might say, "Run and share your testimony." Yes, they cut it off from general broadcast, but somebody close to you heard it. That person may have been impacted by the way you are so humble with your talent, by the way you are so faithful with declaring your allegiance to the Lord, and that person might be impacted. So God is not a black and white person.
Okay, so you're saying, what will be the guidelines that you could give then in terms of these decisions that need to be made going forward? What you say to persons when they come upon these things? Again, products, movies, situations that are similar, to boycott or not to boycott?
I look at what I see as the wider impact, and basically there's a cost benefit. Is what I am achieving worth the cost of what I seek to achieve. So, for example, I've always resisted Netflix because of not just their depiction of the Lord as
you boycott Netflix. You boycott Netflix for the record.
because of not just religious stance, but their cultural stance. When they brought that movie with the 12-year-old girls twerking and stuff like that, they are seeking to impact society a certain way, and I don't believe that giving them financial support is going to benefit society in the long run.
Are there no gospel-based movies on Netflix?
But
with good morals?
The gospel-based movies might be for people who subscribe to those gospel-based movies.
But they're on it. They're on it.
Yes. But do I need to see that movie as a person who's already converted enough to say, okay, what the impact on wider society is of a negative one? Can I support the company because I'm being entertained or edified by a single movie? Is that the only option for me to see that movie? Is the content of that movie so important that I would need to violate that principle to say, okay, let me be blessed or educated up from that movie.
I'm so sorry. Stick up in there, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to hear quickly Miss Carrara's view on that matter, the Netflix matter, in 10 seconds.
I'm probably the worst one. I don't watch anything. I just watch Christian movies. I'm very careful. I'm very careful.
Would you agree with that stance that Mr.
I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch Hallmark. I don't watch Disney.
Leave it at that. Leave it at that. I'm going to stop this movie now. Thank you so very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, have a safe and productive day.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow. We continue to set the stage for discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information or get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint. Handing you back to Love in the Morning with Jakal Dyer.
Thank you for listening to the Morning Watch. Today was sponsored by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Sector.